Hello, nail peoples. Come on in. Come on in. Hi. Come on in. We have lots and lots of stuff to talk about today. So exciting. Hi, everybody. Come on in. It's Monday, June 20th. This is our first show in the longer format of once per week at 1 p.m. So we're going to be here for a minute. So make sure that you grab your cup of whatever and come talk to us. So today I have my Disney Mrs. cup because I am Mrs. Pugh. So Michelle Cordes Pugh, my Mrs. Pugh cup. Oh, you can see I splashed some coffee on the other side. That doesn't look very pretty, does it? Hi Charlotte. Hello, everybody. Okay. Oh my gosh, so much stuff to talk about today. So yeah, we've got some salon stuff to talk about. We've got to wrap up this whole Chromageddon mess until, of course, we actually get the pigments, and then we'll be talking about that. Sat in the car waiting for son to finish work. All right, Victoria. And we're going to just talk about some other client issue stuff that I've seen discussions pop up about in the group. So, oh, I see we have the Nail Nana here. Nice. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I totally just spilled coffee on myself. Monday fail. Monday fail. Victoria, 9 p.m. feels good and early. That's awesome. Hello, Tiffany Cordoza. We have Cordoza Nail Supply in the house, and that's who does our monthly nail box stuff. So if you haven't gotten your monthly nail box in, make sure that you go to cordozanailsupply.com and get signed up. Look at the details and get signed up for your monthly nail box. Okay, so we have lots of things to talk about today. First things first, I want to talk a little bit about, oh, yep, and Tiffany's packing them while I listen. Oh, on your way to your coffee mug, right, Tina? Okay, so I know it's only June, and so it seems really weird to be talking about this topic, but we need to be starting to think about holiday, as in Christmas. And I know, and holiday season, and I know it's really hard to think about that on the first day of summer, but we really need to be thinking about that. And this is why. And so this was sort of spurred to me because I got some of my latest sale flyers from Jessica Beauty, and they have their holiday specials out. And some of our other big beauty suppliers have released their, what their special promos and stuff are for holiday. And I know that it seems weird, but you need to understand that companies, manufacturers, everybody else is dealing with this Christmas, New Year's season right around the time that all the rest of us are celebrating last year's Christmas, New Year's season. So everybody is, all the manufacturers and everybody, they're at least a year ahead. So since we, hi Mare. So since we know that they're so far ahead, yeah, right. Barry says when she was a chef, they started printing Christmas menus at summer. Exactly. So we need to be thinking about our retail and client gift strategy for Christmas now. Now, there's a couple advantages to this. One, you're going to get the best pricing right now and selection while everybody is just releasing their stuff for the holiday season. So that's a really exciting thing. You'll be able to get really kind of plan out if you're doing client gifts or retailing for your clients for their gifts or any type of special packages you're putting together. If you put all of that together now, then you've super got the jump to get your orders in. You'll be the first in line when these things ship out. And that's really important because then you can plan better. You won't have to worry about just kind of piecing together with whatever's left. The other advantage to planning for your Christmas season promotions and everything is that this is our busy season generally. So you have more money to spend on getting those things. And then when you start to slow down, you don't have to worry about it because you've already done it. You've either ordered it, pre-ordered it, or you've got it and you've got it in, up on your store shelves ready to go. You have plenty of months in the off season to finish putting everything together. And so Mare says I'm earlier, more selection. I'm so smart. You're so funny, Mare. So then when it slows down, you've got time to do that. The other real big advantage to buying now is promotion. You can go to a website like clubflyers.com or Vistaprint, or even go to your local office supply superstore, store, order online printing, those kind of things. And you can get promotional literature for Christmas. Yeah, well, being off by 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve is still pretty darn good, Victoria. She was saying that last year she worked a 12-hour day, 5 to 5 a.m. to p.m. So the other thing is that you can get all of your holiday stuff prepped and ready to go. And so while you're in August and in that end of summer type push, when you see your clients, pretty much a lot of them for the last time until they start having holiday parties and all those kind of things. Hello in the UK. You have that opportunity to give them a bounce back offer. And what a bounce back offer is like when you go into shop in a store and you buy a pair of shoes, say, and they give you a coupon for, say, 10% off your purchase between these dates. So that's what a bounce back offer is. So if you're planning your holiday retail, gift, everything, promotion strategy now, you have the ability to get bounce back offers made where you can say, give somebody a coupon for 10% off their entire retail purchase between November 1st and November 30th. So that will give them an incentive to come in and see you, even if it's just for retail products in that downtime leading into holiday, helping to keep you at the forefront of their mind as they're figuring out by the time November rolls around. And believe it or not, people keep these coupons. Then as November rolls around, they're looking at this and they're going, oh, I need to go in and buy more of my foot stuff or more of my top coat or whatever in November. And so then in November, they're going, oh, wait a minute. Now I can book my appointments because now I know when my Christmas parties are for work or whatever. So it's really important. It's a part of a whole marketing strategy to be thinking about that stuff right now. So I know it seems weird being the first day of summer. Happy summer solstice to everybody. Mare says she has a large plastic bin to put things in for the holidays and start stocking it in July. Absolutely. So yes, right on schedule, Mare. So taking the time now to think about what you're doing for your quiet season planning and your next busy season promotion can really reap huge rewards. You can spend the money now on the stuff while you're a little busier. You can budget it a little better. You can take an opportunity towards the end of the summer season to hand out these bounce back coupons. And then hopefully you can see a return on that. Well, not everybody is getting to travel all the time during slow season, Nellie. Some of us have, catch up stuff we need to do in our salon. So that's just a part of, if you're going to be a business owner, which is a booth renter, a salon owner, whatever, if you're going to own your own business, strategic planning like this is part of the business process. So just a little heads up to everybody that this is holiday retail and client gift kind of season. If you give gifts to your clients, make sure that you're not giving gifts to everybody. I would say I would reserve gifts as a special bonus for standing appointments only. or regular clients only. And I mean, when I say regular clients, I mean, we all know those clients that we can count on. Unless there is a death in the family, they're going to make their appointment and they come in regularly, whether it's every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever their service is. I also would not give client gifts to anybody who comes any less often than every 4 weeks. So a gift might be appropriate for your 4-week pedicure client, but not for your 6 or 8 week pedicure client. So, you don't have to give gifts. If you've got 100, 150, 200 people in your clientele, you don't have to give gifts to everybody. Client gifts, I would give a card to everybody, but client gifts are a special bonus for those extra loyal people that we have. So think about that when you're writing out your list and calculating your numbers on how many client gifts you need. And so then figure out your budget. Say maybe you have 50 people to give client gifts to and your budget is $500. Well, now you can spend $10 per person instead of, if you have 100 people you're trying to give gifts to at $500, you can only spend $5 a person. And make sure that you factor everything into that price, not just the price of the products, but the price of the packaging, whether you're using little organza bags or a box or whatever. Think about the price of packaging. Think about the price of your cards. Think about the price of shipping, if you have shipping to get those things to you, those kind of things. I also suggest for retail or for client gift purposes. I know, and this is a huge topic in the industry, there's lots of people who like to give their clients gifts, like candles or, something homemade or something like that. This is really an opportunity to get your clients a gift of something that you know is just amazing, that you have an opportunity to get them hooked on it. So this is a time to give them a gift of something that maybe isn't packaged for retail sale, but because it's a gift, you don't have to follow all those same requirements. So this might be the time to buy a bunch of empty 1/4 ounce bottles and buy, say, a 2 or 4 ounce size of your favorite amazing cuticle oil. Hi, Andrea. Your favorite amazing cuticle oil, and put it in the 1/4 ounce bottles to help keep your cost per bottle down and give them just enough that you can say, this is and maybe you can put a little insert in your little thing that you've typed up that has the ingredients or whatever in it that would normally be on the label for each of the things you give them. And you can say, this is a 2-week supply of these great home care products that I'm going to give you for free. And so I hope you enjoy them and, use them a lot over the holidays. And then you're giving them something that can potentially, you'll get feedback from them about how they like it, which is also information. It's like a free market survey. And you also will be able to grab some of them for repeat purchases. So there's little mini files. There's you can do cuticle oil. I mean, all those things that we wish our clients would use all the time, right? Yeah, Mara says cuticle oil every year. They get hooked on it. Absolutely. Or say you have a whole clientele of people who they love to have their nails like ultra shiny. Well, being able to find a product that will help with that. Maybe it's Masterworks Master Shine, which is an home care product that you can buff into your gel nail to make it really gleam. Maybe it is top coat because most of your clients wear polish. So maybe for these clients, a 1/4 ounce bottle of top coat so that they can extra shine their nails up at home. Maybe that's something that your clients would enjoy the most of. Maybe for your clients, they love the scrub and lotion that you use, but it's kind of pricey in the, 8 ounce or 4 ounce or whatever container. Well, maybe you can get little empty 1 ounce containers and you can go through and pump an ounce of lotion or squeeze an ounce of lotion into all of those so that they get a little at-home pick-me-up of what you offer them in the salon. And again, it helps keep you on the front of their mind and it helps do all that. So Nellie says he can't wait for the holidays when my clients refill my vodka collection. You're out of control, Nellie. You're out of control. Okay, so that's all I'm going to go on and on about for holiday retail. But so you definitely, you know, this is the time that you need to be thinking 6 months out. Yeah, you're getting a round of ha-ha-ha's, Nellie. Nellie can always be counted on to have some good chatter for us. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to get into is Mare refills her coffee collection. The next thing I'm going to get into is Nail Talk Radio last night and the Chromageddon discussion. So until we get our hands on all these pigments, this can kind of wrap up the Chromageddon discussion. So for those of you who listened to NTR last night, that's great. If you did not listen to Nail Talk Radio last night, you can find Nail Talk Radio by Googling Nail Talk Radio, or go to blogtalkradio.com and look up Nail Talk Radio. Nail Talk Radio is on Sunday nights. It comes on at 7 p.m. my time, I think. So, okay, so here's the deal. I am formulating a list, and Rain is evaluating the list of all of these MSDS sheets, which we'll talk about in a second, that I have accumulated on all this. And but here are some thoughts about it. And based on some of the things that were talked about on last night's NTR show. So you should totally, if you're not completely over Chromageddon, if you're not completely over Chromageddon, it was definitely a good show. Okay, so Mare brings up a point. She says, one more client asked for Chrome, I'm going to scream. Charlotte, you can't seem to get on the last couple weeks to listen to the replays. For me or for Nail Talk Radio? Because I did just listen to the Nail Talk Radio replay partially this morning, and I was able to get on just fine. So maybe try clearing your browser history and clearing your cookies. And maybe when there was some little weird glitch in there that happened, that'll delete it out and you'll be able to hook back up again. It's good advice for anybody who's having any technical problems, by the way. Okay, so Mare brings up a good point. We, as technicians, may be over Chromageddon, but it's just cranking up for our clients. I have already, you think we're not the only ones who see this video, you guys. Our clients see it. It's all over social media. So we need to make sure that, as sick as we are of it, that, yeah, Barry said she had 3 asks today. Yeah. In just my little clientele of whatever, I've already gotten messages about it and everything. And I've said I have it on pre-order and all that. Yeah, Barry had to post that it's on pre-order. So we need to gear up for the fact that chrome nails is going to be the thing for a little while. And so we need to knock it off with, yeah, we're sick of hearing about it, but we need to knock it off with the attitude about that and get educated on it and go ahead and capitalize on it. We need to figure out how much we're going to upcharge for it, based on our pricing structure, based on how much we paid for it. You know, are we going to charge an extra $5 for it? Are we going to charge an extra $10 for it? Like, what are we going to charge extra for it that's going to justify all of the dealing with it we've had to do? Okay, so, yeah, so we need to really, talk about, chrome pigment. Yes, Henrietta, there is this whole big stuff about chrome pigment. So I'm going to sum up a little bit about what Athanon Braden talked about last night at NTR. A lot of what they talked about, like the pricing of our supplies and the increase in the pricing that happened because of supply and demand and all that. And Lauren Wireman's situation and the Grace, yes, 2 X's or 4 X's, Charlotte, for both you, for you UK guys, because otherwise it flags it here in Periscope. Yeah, Mare, hopefully I'll be able to help you with that. Mare has to do some more research for Nailite. So, okay. So I'm not going to rehash all of the stuff that we talked about last night. I'm going to get, the last 2 episodes of last week up on the Nails Over Coffee YouTube archive. They are all up until last Thursday, Friday though. So you can catch all of the Chrome discussions that we talked about last week. So I'm not going to rehash all of those. But the law of supply and demand is something that we really do need to factor in. You guys, we need to factor it in because everybody else does. So the manufacturers, when they start seeing things fly off their shelf, they raise the price because they want to make as much money as they can off it right now. And that filters down the whole supply chain. So then our next group of people who have to buy it have to charge more for it. In the case of like Lauren Wireman having to raise the prices on the Wildflowers product. Then that means higher prices to us. So what we might have been thinking, Chrome was something we could have included in our service because it was just going to get more people in the door. And we already have things like that factored into our pricing structure. But then we have other things that are not factored into our pricing structure, like these kind of large increase over the tops. The difference between rhinestones and Swarovski crystals. The same thing with, craft store glitter versus cosmetically approved pigment glitter mixes. Those kind of things. So the Chrome stuff, supply and demand, the price is going up. So now we as technicians need to think about what we need to do. I was initially figuring I was going to be able to just throw it into all of my stuff that I just sort of do as a part of my process. I have a lot of pigments that are mica based. We'll talk about that in a second. That I just kind of do because they get the effect I want and I don't really consider it a nail art upcharge. But they're not $24 for a 10 gram thing. So, I'm probably going to have to do a $5 upcharge, for Chrome, or maybe a $10 upcharge for Chrome. And I'm going to have to really, or maybe split the difference and make it $7. I'm really going to have to look at that because here's the other thing. As prices have gone up all along the board because of supply and demand, guess what? Supply and demand affects our business too. So keeping in mind that if you've got lots of clients that are asking for this, they're going to pay for it. And 6 months from now, you're only going to use this product probably once every 3 months. So in this time, while it's hot, while the demand is up, that's the time for you to charge, say, $7 extra per charge. I'll get to that in a second, Nellie. $7 extra per charge, per service. And then that $24 pigment bottle container doesn't seem that ridiculous, does it? So if you can make that back with the 3 or 4 clients that are clamoring for it, and it's going to continue to build in popularity, then that makes that worth adding it to your service menu. So Nellie just said, does it last long enough to justify doing it? Yes, if you are using it like it's supposed to be used. So if you are using a high quality pigment and you're burnishing it into the inhibition layer and you're getting that great chrome glow that stays when you put your top sealer on it, then absolutely it'll last as long as any other gel polish manicure would last. And so then it's, yes, definitely worth the upcharge. So we'll talk about the Lauren did a picture using her powdered sugar line. And so I'll try to find that picture and put it on the comment section below this video on Facebook. But so if you have some of Lauren Wireman's Wildflowers Academy powdered sugar line, you already have some, nail crack, as it was called on NTR last night, in your salon. So on the note of nail crack, that's exactly what these trend things are when they come by. There's been the relationship to the minx trend or, any of these other, when shellac first came out, the shellac trend, you know, it really is, it becomes kind of the nail crack. Like people see a video or see a picture or see a few people on it and they just want it, want it, want it, want it, want it. Crystal Pixie, right? Barry, that's another one. And people want it, want it, want it, and they want it now. And we're all just like a bunch of junkies, like, I gotta have it right now. So it is. I can't take credit for the nail crack thing. That is all Athena and Braden. But so it is like that though. It's like a drug for us and for the nail client enthusiast. So Nelly says that in his opinion, mink seems to be the best way to get the real chrome effect. And to be honest with you, Nelly, based on some of these other chrome video things I've seen, I don't know that I agree with that. I like minks. It's a good product, but if I can use something that I can use as a part of my regular gel polish service anyway, and I can upcharge for it just a little bit and I can blow it out of the salon and it's going to give a nice chrome effect and that the clients are looking for, then, you know, maybe. So, on the note of nail crack, which relating it to drugs is kind of funny. So, see, but Nelly, you're saying the pigments are not nearly as chrome-like with the top coat. And that, again, depends on the product you're using. None of us have really seen some of these new actual metal-infused pigments yet. And so that might not be true. So that's kind of putting the cart before the horse, in my opinion. But so on the note of nail crack, so there was an interesting discussion. Andrea said she did it with top coat and it didn't change. So that's good to know. Ooh. More coffee, guys. It's Monday. Okay. So I got some notes here. That's what I keep looking down at my handy dandy notes. Okay. So there was a post in Nail Professionals Technical where we're talking about, European Union and UK regulations versus United States, and Canada and those kind of things. It's really important to remember that you have to follow whatever your local regulations and statutes are. So, making sure that the post that was in Nail Professionals Technical, it's great. If you're not a member of that group, be a member of Nail Professionals Technical. It doesn't use brand names. No, brand names are forbidden. But it is really good about talking about exactly that, the technical side of what we do. And it does clarify some things. So there are some pointers in there for if you're in the UK, what kind of registration for products you need to be looking for. It's a great post. And so I will try to sum some of that up down below in the comment section. I want to make sure I get the wording right. There's a particular product registration that whatever you're using needs to have done. You don't necessarily need to have a safety data sheet if it's not deemed a hazardous substance, and there's specific lists for those. So, I want to make sure that I get the acronym right for what this is that it must be approved for. So for manufacturers, the name again of the group is Nail Professionals Technical. And there's a whole bunch of people that are admins on that group, that moderate it. And so, it does have some really good technical information, and people like Doug Schoon, and all that. Oh yeah. Hi, Kate. Yeah, hour earlier, remember? You'll have to catch the first third on replay. So Doug Schoon and a lot of our other industry chemistry nerds are on there. So yeah, it is very difficult, Mayor, to get products okayed to go into the EU. You have to know what type of regulations specifically and hoops you need to jump through. I'm starting to think that I'm going to go update myself on my international marketing so I can help some of you manufacturers consult to that, to get into the other global markets. I happen to live by a port, so I have import-export specialty people right here in town with me. And so I think I'm going to get in cahoots with some of them, so that I can do some consulting work for you guys in the manufacturer realm on how to get approved in these other countries. But so what we really need to be talking about is approved color additives. I'm sure with all of this flack, the next face-to-face with Doug Schoon will probably have some information on this. He doesn't as of yet. I just went and checked before the show. Here in the U.S., it's part of the FD&C Act, which Authanom Braden talked about a little bit last night. Here's the big thing, at least here in the States. If it's approved for use as a cosmetic colorant, a cosmetic color additive, then it can be used in cosmetic application. So if it's approved for use like for eyeshadow or those type of things, then it can be, then it is approved for use in nail enhancements because that's also a cosmetic application. So keeping that in mind, that we see some of these like amazing eyeshadow pigments. It's possible, while a lot of those are mica based, which again, I'll get to here in a second, that, yeah, dry to wet type stuff, that if you can use it for eyeshadow or lip shine or those kind of things, then you can use it on nails. So that's something to really keep in mind. Now, like aluminum powder, to get back to the chrome thing, can be used for external cosmetic practices. Silver powder. So why not use eyeshadow, Tina? That gets back to the mica thing, and I'm getting there. So much information. Silver powder can only contain certain dilutions and can't contain other impurities. So if it's silver and chrome, or it's silver and aluminum that give us these chrome appearances. So those things are, some cosmetic colorants need to be certified. Oh, Athena, I can totally imagine that last night was hard. There's so much information. Certain types of products need certification, and some have an exemption. And silver and aluminum are two of the products that have an exemption, but it still must be labeled correctly for its intended use. So if you're buying off of AliExpress or somewhere that is another, say you're ordering from a German country even, and the labeling is in German and they don't have labeling for the US, you need to make sure that when that product hits your salon, you label it appropriately in English or whatever your language is, so that you meet the requirements of labeled appropriately for its use. Okay, that is really important. The thing about SDS sheets, safety data sheets or material and safety data sheets, is that, this is something that I really am glad that Athena and Braden really touched on and hit home last night, is the responsibility for the safety of these products falls to the manufacturer. So when you're looking at where to buy these chrome pigments from, make sure that that they have an SDS or MSDS, whatever your country calls it, available, that they are able to provide you with one of those. Because if you get the safety data sheet, and like, for example, in the European Union, Tina and I were looking at some products in Germany that say non-conform, which means it is for decorative use only, not cosmetic use. So if you're getting a product that says it's for decorative use only, that's not us. So you really need to be since the responsibility and the liability for the accuracy of these safety data sheets falls on the manufacturer, you need to make sure that you're putting that responsibility on the manufacturer. So wherever you're getting it from, and again, Rain and I are compiling a big list, but wherever you're getting it from, make sure that you are getting your SDS sheet and you're reading over it. And that is and I thought this was a very interesting point that Athena and Braden brought up. The SDS should say, oh, bye, Tiffany. The SDS should say that it's safe for use in cosmetic applications or whatever that verbiage is in your local regulation. Conform, if it's in German, that it meets whatever that acronym is. I have to look up standards in the UK, those kind of things. It has to have that on it. And remembering that a safety data sheet is a legal document. And I thought this was a great, great point on NTR last night. It is a legal document. So it is important to have that, that document in your possession. For, Braden called it cover your butt. I'm going to go ahead and say CYA, cover your ass. I get to say ass. It's my show. Yeah, stay away from the pigments from car companies. It's not for cosmetic use, right? So that's what Mayor says. So, making sure that you have that for your cover your ass documentation. That way, if there is a problem, in the instance there is a problem, especially in the UK, their insurance is really finicky. You can produce this document that says, I purchased this product from this manufacturer. Here's my receipt, or from this distributor. Here is my SDS that says it's safe for cosmetic use. So I'm out from the liability standpoint. I'm out. Now, if you're going to sue somebody, sue the manufacturer because I covered my butt. And then when your insurance company comes back and goes, hey, there's a problem with this, they're filing a claim, you can go, padow. Yeah, someone did a live on Facebook and Googled and used it from a car place. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about mica powder. Okay, so Athena touched on this with price-wise, that even some of the mica powder that does have a shimmery type pigment to it has gone up from $400 a kilo to $600 a kilo. And that's what these people are using or buying. These distributors and manufacturers are buying this stuff by the kilo, and then they're repackaging it into smaller packages for us to buy. Right? Okay. So, the mica powders have increased from $400 to $600. Well, to give you an idea, when you no, I didn't see your latest quote, Athena. But so now when you talk to somebody like Lauren Wireman, who's, talking about this price increase that she had, she's now paying, hold on to your britches, $2,800 per kilo. $2,800 per kilo. Hi. So you wonder why you're now paying $24 for a 10-gram thing or whatever? Right. Just like when the crude oil is up and gas stations are going crazy with prices. Right. So when you're talking about Lauren, and now she's got it and it's coming, it's on its way in 5 additional colors. So now you're talking about she's cutting $13,000 checks for products that she's selling at $24 a little bottle for a trend product. So that's a huge difference than mica powder at 4 or 6 or 800, even if they double from the 400 and go to 800. That is primarily what eyeshadow, is mica pigment. So we're not going to see the price increases on eyeshadow, and we're not going to see the pricing on eyeshadow. But I want you to think about that. When you go to the MAC counter, when you go to Bare Essentials and you buy one of the little tubs of eyeshadow, it's what? $18 US, $20 US, some of the more expensive ones, $21, $22 US. So really, what are you paying in markup when you look at $400 or $600 or $800 a kilo for the mica powder? And they're mixing a bunch of mica powders together and they're adding some some colorants, some cheaper colorants. We don't bat an eye at that. So why are we really, freaking out about this? So, again, paying attention to the fact that the real chrome powders require the 1.5% of the aluminum or the real silver to get that real chrome effect. and any more than that, and you're probably starting to cross over into the not safe idea of using it on for cosmetics. And I'm going to touch briefly on inhalation because Athena and Braden talked a little bit about that last night. But one of the things I want to point out, and I don't know who else, thanks Athena, I don't know who else is doing this, but I know I've talked to Lauren about it for wildflowers, is there's a 0.5% of moisture in the wildflowers chrome pigment, which keeps it heavier so it doesn't fly around in the air like we see on that video. We see the pigment just flying all over the place. That 0.5% of moisture keeps the inhalation risk down. It also contains epoxy resins to also help hold it together. So again, that's knowing your manufacturer, knowing your distributor, and being able to let them do the work for you, them take the responsibility. That's part of that. But if you are using some other brands of anything, pigments, chrome pigments, whatever, and you see all the dust flying around, you guys make sure you're keeping your breathing zone clear, or you're wearing an N95 mask. The stupid little dust masks from the doctor's offices, whatever, they don't do anything. The particles are too small. So make sure that you're wearing an N95 mask. If you're going to be using some of these that are flying all about in the air, whether you have a source capture system or not. Metal, I said this last week, metal is not something to mess with. What we don't need is to be using 1% aluminum pigments all day, but that 1% is then feeding straight into our lungs all day, and find out 5 years from now that our lungs are filled with aluminum, and this trend killed 500 nail techs, and it's the first time it's ever happened. That's not what we need to do. So ounce prevention is worth a pound of cure. Okay, on the note of keeping SDSs in your salon, Athena and Braden talked about this a bit last night. I need some more coffee. Hold, please. Coffee refill. Mare says if she starts to test one, it flies around, she nixes it. But now you know, Mare, that maybe just a little bit of moisture added into it will help. Nellie's going to stay away from the trend. You know, that's all part of your business model, Nellie. It just depends on what your business model and your clients like. Okay, so on the note of keeping SDS in your salon, for example, here in Washington State, it is required that we have our SDS in our salon. If you have it in digital form, that does not absolve you of the need to have it in printed form. You can have it in digital form on every computer, but you need to have it in printed form in at least one binder type location. You need to have it on hand. Hi, Melissa. You need to have it on hand for every product that you use on clients in the salon. So if you use Pine Sol to clean your bathroom floors, you don't have to have the SDS for Pine Sol. But if you use Pine Sol to clean your nail table, then yes, you do need to have the SDS for it. So really factoring in that whole thing. I don't have any more decaf, baby. The Hub Love is making me more coffee because my show is long now. So exciting. It was getting cold. So here's the other part that you need to think about for SDS sheets is, yeah, that's a good idea, getting the N95 mask if you want to use these pigments. Here's the deal. So you should be able to get the SDS sheets from your supplier. Wherever you buy we do actually have cake in the house. Funny. That's funny, Tina. Wherever you buy your stuff from should have the MSDS SDS for that product. If they don't have it, find another supplier. Okay. If you a lot of times you can get on the manufacturer's website, those kind of things. Here's the real deal. The SDS is not just for meeting state regulations or regional regulations. The SDS is not just for making sure that we're using our products safely and all those kind of things. And it's not just for insurance purposes. There's one big part of SDS sheets that's often overlooked that I want to make sure that I impress how important it is. The SDS is supposed to be in a binder to meet local fire and building codes. The reason why this is because in the case of an emergency evacuation, because of earthquake, fire, tidal wave, building explosion, any of those kind of things, you need to be able to grab that binder on your way out the door. So when you hear a fire starts is in the building next to you, or the fire department comes because you have a fire in your salon, the thing you should be grabbing on your way out the door is your SDS binder. Because when you evacuate the building, those emergency responders are going to need to have you hand them that binder, because that's going to tell them the flash point of all of the products and chemicals that you have in your salon. So everybody in industrial situations who is manufacturing these products and all of that, they are required to have these things for that same thing. Emergency medical professionals, they need to know if there is an ingestion or an eye, something gets in somebody's eyes, or there is some sort of something that we have to call emergency medical responders to. The first thing they're going to ask you for is the safety data sheet, so they can find out what type of eye wash they can use to wash the object or the chemical out of their eyes. Some things can use an boric acid solution. Some things need to be saline. Some things. So, you need to have these. They're not just fluff. Okay. Right. Mara says she has 2 copies in case she's not there when something happens. They're not just fluff for something that we just do to make the state board shut up and leave us alone, or just make sure we can't get sued by some litigation happy client. This is really part of your and your client's safety as well. So you need to make sure that, so Kate brings up a great point, which is, what about salons sneaking in MMA? Here's the deal. If you are a salon and you are using MMA and it's banned for cosmetic use in your location, then obviously you wouldn't have an SDS for it, because it doesn't say it's safe for use in cosmetic applications. And so we do need to worry about that as a flashpoint risk. If you know of a salon for sure that is using methyl methacrylate, it might be appropriate to report them to your local fire department, health department, those kind of places, because if they have a problem in their salon, they have a different chemical risk than other salons. So while the MSDS for EMA and MSDS for MMA is, Mare says there it's code enforcement. If they are similar, that's fine, but we need to be, Kate says she's trying to report and getting nowhere with it and stuff like that. This is going to take a whole client campaign, public relations thing to do to get the public and the clientele to sort of driving the market turn on some of these non-regulated places. And that's a whole nother show altogether. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But so this covers your ass. And then when you're talking about, when people say, why do you charge more? You can say, I use EMA instead of MMA. I can provide you with the material safety data sheet or the medical professional if something ever happens. That all goes back into that pricing structure thing. So, it's just another thing to make sure you're covering your own butt. There are people who are using MMA who may not even know they're using MMA. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people who use chrome car pigments without knowing that, my hub love is the best, without knowing that they're using something that is not okay. So again, just that whole creating awareness, but cover your own butt in the meantime. You make sure you have all your stuff in line before you worry about what's going on in anybody else's class house, okay? Yes, he is a keeper. So, oh, more coffee, yay. Okay, so I think with that, I think we can sort of close the book on Chromageddon until we actually start seeing results and posts from these products that get sent out, that are all on pre-order. So maybe by next week or the week after, we'll be able to have a Nails Over Coffee show and tell of resulting Chromageddon pictures. We hope. Yeah, we're using pigment from China labeled as a US product. Yeah, right? That's the thing. So I don't hope any, Nellie says hopefully this trend will leave soon. Nellie, I don't hope any trend that makes me money leaves soon. And this is going to make me some money. So I'm hoping the trend sticks around for a while, because I'm totally down with paying $24 for a 10-gram product that then I can upcharge for $7 for. So I think I've made the decision during the show. The upcharge is going to be $7. Okay, so closing the book on Chromageddon for now. Okay. So now the book is closed on Chromageddon. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. We're going to cleanse our Nail Tech palette. And we're going to move on to some other things that I saw online. So there was some great posts in the Canadian Nail Tech Connection this week about some stuff that had to do with our client business. And one of them was taking a vacation or holiday, depending on what area of the world you're in, what you call it, and dealing with clients in regards to that. If all of your clients are clamoring that you shouldn't be taking a vacation, or that you taking time off is somehow impeding on their lifestyle, then this shows a couple of greater problems. The number one greater problem that this shows is that clients who do that don't understand that this is your business. And I relate it a lot to, do you call the banker who's your friend up at 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday and say, hey, I need you to go into the branch and make my deposit for me because I have cash? First of all, when they're done laughing and hanging up on you, bye, Kate, see you later. When they're done laughing and hanging up at you, you're still going to be sitting with your cash in your hand, and maybe you are going to have to go to the cash machine to deposit it, or maybe your bank ATM doesn't post cash deposits quickly, so you might just have to wait till Monday, right? You might have to wait. So if your clients are talking about you not being able to take time off, then those are clients who don't respect that it's your career. Now, but there's a note about that if you have clients, and especially if you have a lot of them, who don't respect that this is your career, then there's possibly some other reasons behind that. Like maybe there's a problem with something about your professionalism and the service that you provide that isn't doing that. So if you are not providing your customer value, which is what they perceive they get for the money that they're spending, if they don't see you as valuable, then they don't understand that this is your career, and then they don't understand why you need a vacation or holiday from your career. So there's some things that can play into that. It might be your demeanor. It might be the way you dress. It might be the way you treat them when they're there. It may be behavior like canceling their appointments and rescheduling all the time because they're friends. It may be, the environment that they're sitting in. People who have joined University of Nails know that all of these things factor into the marketing mix. And, it's that perceived value proposition. And if your clients are throwing a fit about your vacation, then that might be something you need to look at, is where is that coming from? There can be a valuable lesson in there. The other thing is, so say you're going to take a vacation and you're going to do what a lot of nail techs do, which is you're going to work 60 hours the week before your vacation, and you're going to work 60 hours the week after your vacation to take the 40 hours off of your vacation week in the middle. But even working those 40 hours, you can't get everybody in. So part of the way you can prepare for this is you can prepare your vacation as far in advance as you can. Maybe it's only a month or two, or maybe it's 6 months or whatever. Maybe you take your vacation at the same time every year. I notoriously like to take a vacation in October because it's our slow time. It's after summer, but it's gearing up towards holiday. And so I really enjoy being able to take around the same time. And so my clients sort of know that around that same time, I'm probably going to be taking a holiday. So some of that can help take some of this down, take some of the animosity about it down a notch. The other thing is that if you have people that you're not going to be able to get in because of your vacation, then having a network of people you can refer them to, or having an alternative for them while you're on vacation. So for example, I know that next summer, between some of the shows, I'm going to have a chunk of time where it's not going to be cost effective for us to come home and for me to work that week and then for us to go again. It'll be more cost effective for us to just stay gone on vacation during that time. So if that happens, yeah, I mean, sometimes nailcations and those kind of things, the clients understand that a little better, but I'm talking about just vacations too. I have a tech who I trust, who I can bring in to work in my salon, and I give her rent and I give her supplies, and I say, just be me for a week. And then she can plan around that, and she's going to make some extra money. Or maybe like I've done it, where I've gone into a salon and I've done as a stand-in for one of my nail tech friends on her honeymoon. Her wedding and honeymoon was a destination, and she was going to be gone for 2 weeks. And so I went in and I worked 3 long days for her to catch people that weren't going to be able to make it over the gap. And it was great. I got to meet some new people, and we just had a grand old time. It was a nail party, and it was really fun. So Mare says she wished she had someone near her. And that's the point of local networking, and that not being our competition. It's not just to refer people out who we can't get in, or who don't jive with us. It's about being able to have, when you know your market, and you know your competition, you also know people who are in your same bracket that you can refer to. So that brings me to my next topic. That's Barry says she's got a week off soon. Her clients are cool with it. One gave her euros as a tip. That's awesome. Which wants to bring me to my next topic that we talked about is, what do you do when you discontinue a service you offer, or you change your schedule, or need to release or refer a client somewhere else? So this is part of that being a professional. This comes all the way back to that perception of us as professionals. Good customer service says if you go into a store and you ask them for something you're shopping for and they don't have it, that it's really great customer service when they can refer you to someplace that might, or that does. And I think that that's something that in our industry often gets overlooked. So being able to say, in this case, it was discussing somebody not offering pedicures anymore because of a medical condition. Being able to say, as of July 1st, I will no longer be able to offer pedicure services. please ask me for a list of people that I can refer you to get a quality service. So if you're going to discontinue a service, or you're going to need to refer clients out for any reason, or if you can change your schedule and you know you're going to have to let some, say, evening clients go, or you can't work Saturdays anymore, so you're going to have to let some of your Saturday clients go because they can't come in during the week. If you're going to do that, if you don't have somebody else within your same salon to refer to, then being able to refer to an outer source. So I have a whole list of people in my area, and they're not always right in my area, but I know what they do that's the same as me. I know what they do that's different than me. I know if they're following state board regulations or not. I know them in all price points. It's called market research, you guys, and networking. You really need to be doing some. And that will smooth over any of this vacation, time off, holiday, you need to have surgery, you stop doing pedicures, you stop doing artificial nails, you can't work Saturdays anymore because you don't have babysitting, you need to release a client. Nellie says refers out almost all the manicure services. It's good to have local friends, right? If you need to, and I'm saying release a client because I really can't stand the phrase firing a client. I think it's very not customer service centric. I really can't stand that firing thing. To me, that sounds very disrespectful, and they are making my paycheck. So I don't want to be disrespectful to someone who's paying my paycheck. I've got a whole clientele full of bosses, and so I don't want them to fire me either. So I like to refer to it as release, or release or refer clients. And sometimes we need to release clients for various reasons. Might be customer service, might be service-based, might be whatever. It smooths the way a lot better if we can say, I'm sorry, you deserve to get what you're paying for your money. And because I don't think you're happy with the services you're getting for your money, your value, you deserve to get better value for your money. And so I guess I'm probably not the tech for you. So if you could, here's a list of 2 or 3 other technicians who may be better value for your money for you. I hope you check them out, and good luck. Can you guys give me some hearts? Because I haven't seen any hearts in a while, and I want to make sure I'm not disconnected. Okay, thank you. Hearts, that way I know that you guys are still there. So thank you. So that way, it takes the onus. It's like breaking up with somebody and saying, it's not you, it's me. Being able to say, oh, Nellie has the chocolate hearts. So being able to say, I appreciate that you're spending your money here with me every couple of weeks, and I want you to get the best value for your money. And we've talked about this a lot because you probably have by then. And I feel like I just can't get you the value that you deserve. So let's refer you out to another tech who might better fit your needs. And then you're not just saying, hey, you're a real B and you got to get out of my salon because you make me want to tear my hair out, and I'm going to throw your cell phone across the room if you don't put it down one more time during your service. And I know I can't ever get the shape of your nails right, and you frustrate the crap out of me, and I love my job, and you still frustrate the crap out of me. Instead of, and hating that, letting them know that it's for both of you, right? It's for both you and them. It's for your sanity and your peace of mind and their value. And that can usually smooth the transition a lot with when you need to release or refer a client. If you can send them somewhere else, give them somebody else to try. I closed down my salon and I moved 45 minutes away, and I referred my clients to one of a couple different techs that I knew would best fit their personalities and their needs. And some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of them contacted me for another referral. Some of them followed me the 45 minutes out to where I was, but the whole thing was handled above board. So, Mare says I'm nice. It's just a customer service thing, Mare, really. So to wrap that up, the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was another note that was discussed on one of the groups, which is dealing with rude clients. The clients that treat us like servants. And there was an issue. Oh, I'm glad. There was an issue with wanting to put up a sign that says, because we are in customer service does not mean we are customer servants. And while I certainly agree with that statement, I don't think I would recommend putting up a sign like that, because we don't want the negative kind of signs up in our salon. Oh my God, Barry, that's hilarious. Barry wants to know about people who break wind constantly. I don't even know how to handle that. I think I would just giggle. Anyway, maybe put those little nose things in that the airbrush tanners use to block the spray from getting in their nose. Yeah, I think I would laugh. But I don't think that I would be inclined to put up a negative sign. We've talked about this in regards to other policies, talked about in regards to other policies and things. Mare says a scented candle by their tush. You guys are hilarious. They're a fan. Andrew says a fan. They're off on a tangent about Barry's tooting client. So I think that the best way to think about this type of thing is to think about it through the eyes of customer service. You always get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, as the old saying goes, right? And people are much more likely to respond to something that is customer service based. So, for example, I'm going to use an example from my previous career before nails. I was a retail manager, and there is a lot of theft in fitting rooms for clothing stores. And so there's a couple different ways that companies approach this. In some ways, the companies approach it making you feel like a criminal. They lock the doors. They make you get a number to how many things you're taking in. They put limits on how many numbers of things you can take in, all of which don't do anything to deter shoplifting. Not at all. If you tell me I can only take 6 things in, and I've already got 4 of them tucked into my pocket, and then I take 6 more in, you didn't change anything. None of those things stop loss, but they make them feel better, like they're doing something. And all those kind of policies do is keep honest people honest. So all you do with negative signs is you offend people who already didn't think of you as a servant. So I would say that just like, so the best way in like a clothing store for you to deal with the shoplifting issue in the fitting rooms is through customer service. So instead of locking all your fitting room doors, you leave your fitting room doors unlocked, and you have a hook on the outside of the doors, and you have a fitting room attendant who is a salesperson who is specifically catering to the needs of the people in the fitting room. So they're not giving someone a number for how many items they're taking back, because their whole job is to know how many items people are taking back. No, you definitely cannot put a camera inside of a fitting room, Andrea. That is a federal crime. It's voyeurism. So hi, Marley. So what you do is while people are shopping, you assist them by starting a fitting room for them, and you start hanging their stuff on the outside of their door, and you get an idea of what they're taking into the fitting room with you. I know, right? Then you take them into the fitting. When they come back and they're ready to go in the fitting room, you know what fitting room they're in, or you take their stuff because it's the first time you're seeing them. You take it out of their hands and you carry it back to the fitting room. You open the fitting room door, you put it in the fitting room for them. You tell them, hi, my name is Michelle. I'm right out here. If you need any other sizes, colors, you need any advice on what to put with something, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. I'm right here. Just holler, say Michelle, whistle, scream, whatever. Then you put them in the fitting room. You handled their stuff to go into the fitting room. Then you come back a couple minutes later. Maybe you're dropping off a different color of shirt for somebody 2 fitting rooms down, and you come by and you take a pause and you say, hey, is everything working out for you with those jeans that you took in there? Can I get you another size or another length? Is there anything I can get for you? And sometimes they'll say yes, and sometimes they'll say no. And, coming back and saying, when they come out of the fitting room to look in the mirror to get a better look, you go, you know what? That red color looks great, but I actually think this blue color we have in that shirt would be even better with your skin tone. Would you like me to go grab it for you? Not lying. It's actual customer service. What happens with that kind of engaging with the customer in the customer fitting room is people who would have potentially exploited a loophole in your system are going to be more scared off. So that's going to reduce loss. People who are going to steal from you anyway and are super brazen, they were going to steal from you anyway, and you can't stop them. But what it doesn't do is alienate the customer who was never going to steal from you and you've offended. What it does is instead it gives them a great customer service experience. So to relate that to the nail business and what I was talking about, if you are treating your clients as a partnership in what you're doing, if you are giving them excellent customer service all the time, you're assisting them in finding out what they really want. What are their ultimate goals? Do they want their nails to be set it and forget it? They come in every 2 weeks, they get their nails done, they leave, that's it. They don't want to think about it any other time. Then that plays into the kind of customer service you give them. Really during that consultation and during your services, getting to know what looks your client likes, what they're looking for, even if it's just a quick half-hour service. A half-hour service, if you ask a customer the right questions, is a plenty of time for them to run their mouth and tell you exactly what they love. Listen. Most people will tell you what they're looking for if you close your face and file nails and listen. And then you can take all that and you can file it in your brain and you can put it into client notes in your customer service system, like your style sheet or whatever. And then what happens is when the client's been your client for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and they actually can say, when you say, hey, well, so what are we doing today? What are you kind of thinking? And they're like, yeah, I wanted something kind of bright and fun. And you go, you haven't had hot pink on in a while. I'm thinking it's some hot pink. And they go, oh my gosh, you read my mind. I was totally looking at pink pictures. Yeah, Nellie has a spot on what type of experience they're looking for in your intake form. Right. That is taking care of rude clients and people who treat you like crap through customer service. It's awful hard to be rude to someone who's being that nice to you, is what I always say. So, you can't. If somebody is treating you rudely, if they're actually outwardly treating you rudely, you have 2 things you can do. All right, bye, Barry. And I'm almost done anyway. There are two things you can do. You can either kill them with kindness and customer service and try and win them over because maybe they had a bad experience in the past and now they're taking it out on you. And so they need to build that trust with you and then they won't do that anymore. Or you can flat out sit down with them or email them or whatever the method of their rudeness is and say, hi. I feel like you're not happy with me. And because I love my job, you not being happy with me makes me very stressed and very unhappy because I want everybody who comes into my career here to be happy. And so I'm not happy and because I think you're not happy. And so would you like to talk about what we can do to make this a really happy, pleasant experience for both of us? Or would you just prefer that I refer you to somebody else, which is totally fine. But I feel like this is unhappy and I feel like you're that way too. So let's just fix it. Let's just fix it. That is a customer service centric way to solve the problem versus a sign that says, hey, if you don't like me, take a number and get in line, bitch. You know what I'm saying? There's a different way to take this. And those are the types of things, that's the customer service types of things that makes you the difference between Walgreens and Nordstrom. We think about companies, I've talked about it, the book, Take Their Breath Away by Chip Bell. There are customer service ways to handle, there are customer service ways to handle these things that we can see from the top customer service retailers. Who do we think of for customer service that is just amazing? Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue, Harrods, BMW, Mercedes. They're not all expensive. Some of them are not necessarily high-end retailers. I know that I always got great service whenever I went into Forever 21, which is a super discount clothing when I was looking to shop for a gift for somebody or an accessory or something. I always got great customer service from Forever 21. They're cheap. They're not a high-end expensive retailer. So thinking about Disney, Disney's big on the guest experience, those kind of things. Thinking about, Disney. Thinking about the things that, make those companies different and how you can take those things and integrate them into your business. So you don't see a lot of don't do this, don't do that, stop being a snap, don't move your hand, don't move whatever, blah, you know what I mean? Like, you don't see a lot of, in those great customer service things, what you don't hear a lot of is don't, no, stop, don't, no. What you do hear instead is, please, could you, can I, will you, we appreciate that you, could you possibly assist us by, those are customer service centric. Yes, it's my pleasure. Nellie says, absolutely. Those are customer service centric phrases, not the don't do this, don't do that. You got to book online. Don't call me after 10. Don't, you know what I mean? You can put a nice little sign out or a little blurb in your brochure or your rack card that says, in order to better assist all of my customers for the amazing experience I want you to have, I have put these following guidelines in place to help everyone get what they're looking for. I happily return calls between, during my normal business hours of Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 8. I thank you for your understanding if you don't receive a call back until the following business day. I request 24 hours of your need to cancel your appointment. I require 2 hours notice. If in the event of a no-show or a cancellation, you might possibly be charged to offset the lost time. Right. I have a special charging station for cell phones that if you would like to place your cell phone on the charger while we're doing your service, then your phone can charge since you're not going to be able to use it anyway. These types of things, these are customer service. It's solving a problem with a customer service centric thing. So kind of bringing your brain into that mode to bring it all the way back around. That'll talk about people who don't mind that you take a vacation because they see you as their respected professional. People who understand that you're a partner in what you're doing with them will be, and you can partner with them, that it's your end of the deal. If you're not going to be able to take care of them, that you can find someone who's going to take care of them or help find someone who's going to take care of them. If you're not going to be able to take care of them anymore, what's your obligation to help with that? From a customer service standpoint, it kind of wraps all of these things up. Customer service sort of fixes everything. So, yeah, Mare says with cell phones, she just pictures it in her head throwing it across the room. So, that sort of, I think wraps up that whole client issue, customer service thing, for today. And look at that. The longer format worked. It's been exactly 1 hour and 25 minutes. So, yeah, there is a YouTube video of a tech grabbing someone's phone out of their hand and throwing it. I've taken a client's phone away once, just once. I asked nicely like 3 times to put it down, and they were already late, so I was already running behind, and I just finally snatched the phone out of their hand and said, I asked nicely twice, and I don't ask even my kids anything nicely 3 times. Your phone's going to have to go over here or your service is done. I can't right now. I can't even with that. And, you know, I snatched it out of their hand, and they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize what a pain I was being, and I set it off to the side, and we finished their service, and that was it. From then on out, they left it in their purse. So, problem solved. But I said it with a great deal of charm. So, yeah, I'll stop and wait. I'll leave my station. You know what I mean? But again, there's a lot of things through customer service, like we talked about with the charging station, or giving them an opportunity to hook up their music through the Bluetooth. So they're playing their own music through the stereo speakers, and so they turn on a playlist. I've encouraged clients to make a salon playlist since I'm by myself in my suite, and then they can take it and turn on their playlist, and they can set it off to the sides. And then they get to listen to their own choice of music while they're in getting their services done, and their phone's off over there plugged into the charger. And so again, you guys, sometimes we got to think outside the box for that stuff, you know? What can you do in your location that will add value to your services and solve a problem that you currently have in your salon? So, just a good way to look at it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go run some errands with Rain Girl. I'm finishing up salon painting this week. My airbrush tanning stuff is coming in. So next week I will be offering airbrush tanning in my salon. So I've got to get that all set up. And I'm hoping to have most things done except for the floors by start of business week next week. So trust me when I tell you, the fact that I'm not periscoping every day will definitely reap benefits for me. So I appreciate it. Go back and watch archived episodes. I've got about 300 on youtube.com/nailsovercoffeearchive. And you can watch some of the old episodes. You can talk about it. And there's commentary on the YouTube channel. You know, we can talk about different things. And, oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed, Mare. And so you guys can watch me on reruns while I'm a weekly show. And if anything cool and interesting comes up, trust me when I tell you that I will pop on Periscope and I will broadcast. So make sure you have your notifications for me turned on for Periscope. And that way you get the little, and yes, Marietta, I am up to last Wednesday is up now. And so I will now have to upload last Thursday, Friday, and today's, and then it will be current. So I know you guys miss seeing me every night, but you can just go watch a replay every night, you know, go all the way back to November 18th, which was my first show, and start watching them in order. Treat me like a, you know, series binge on Netflix. Okay. So that's that. And I will pop on Periscope if I get some chrome pigments in, and I've got some, yes, and join University of Nails. And if I've got some chrome pigments in, or something really cool that happens or comes across my table over this summer, I will definitely pop on in Periscope. So make sure you have your notifications on. And yes, this is the last week to sign up for the University of Nails Salon Success Series seminar 2016. This is the only time this year I'm going to offer this. It is $397. You can sign up at universityofnails.com and enter in the code SSS1. Stands for Salon Success Series 1, and that will allow you to join. That gives you the 8-week Salon Success Series webinars from July 3rd on for 8 weeks. We've already got the group up and going, and we're talking about it. It's customized for you, and it also gets you a lifetime membership for University of Nails. So registration for that ends this week, so I can finish prepping it before the class. So make sure that if you are interested in doing that, you get on and you register for it ASAP. Because registration is closing this Saturday at midnight my time. So please, if you've been putting off signing up for it, it's the only time I'm offering it this year. It's going to be motivational. We're going to do e-file training. We're going to do troubleshooting. I'm going to give you all of my tips and tricks. It is $397 for the full series, and that includes the lifetime University of Nails membership, which is $10 a month, and that will give you U of Nails forever. You'll also be able to do the U of Nails stuff and get your business plan and your marketing plan written, and for those, and your certificate. And I'm going to do certificates for the Salon Success Series that you've gone through it. And it's totally going to be hands-on. The webinar each week, we're going to come right out of the gate, firing, doing some stuff. And then the second week, we're going to head into e-file training. We're going to troubleshoot live products. We're going to do live videos, Skype sessions if needed, to handle things. And I can guarantee that everybody who joins this is going to learn some amazing things about how to make money in a salon. I'm not an expert at nail art. I'm not an expert at anything, in my opinion, but I am an expert in making a living doing nails. So that's what the Salon Success Series is all about. It's about making a living doing nails and as a career. So I'd love for anybody else to join me. And if nothing else, we can use it to fine tune your business plan, your marketing plan, be able to take your techniques up to the next level, and really make you rock and roll for 2016. I'm doing it this summer. I didn't wait because it doesn't do us any good for you to learn something next January, and because you never get these 6 months back. So we're going to start learning some stuff now that you can use now and today and this busy season to make money now, and that you can fine tune over the slow season and then really make a lot of money over holidays and stuff. So that's why I didn't want to wait. So $397, universityofnails.com. Enter the promo code SSS1 to get signed up for Salon Success Series through this week. Or if you just want to join University of Nails for the $10 a month membership fee, it gives you access to the library of videos. I'm working on getting my Periscope product trial demos uploaded to that, but there's 25 videos up there now. And then when you've watched all the videos and you've done your binder, you can put out to me that you're ready for your graduation stuff, your certificate of completion stuff. And then I'll get you the template for the business plan, the template for the marketing plan. And based on everything you've done, and learned and seen from all of the videos, we will help you craft your business plan and your marketing plan. And you get all that for just being the $10 a month member. So, that's what we do. So share with everybody, universityofnails.com. And hopefully I'll be able to come to some shows next year for everybody, not just Willamette Valley Nail event. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got to go try and find a countertop for my coffee bar in my salon and go to the grocery store and all those other day off things that we do. So I will get this stuff uploaded, and so the Nails Over Coffee archive will be up to date and current. Please share this with your friends, and share us with other nail techs. And thanks for joining me. I will see you maybe in the middle of the week sometime, but I will definitely see you next Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, my time. And that's it. Ciao. Arrivederci. Bon voyage. Yay. Oh, bye, Tina. She calls me Michelle Mouse. Good, Bianca, going to join U of Nails. Yay. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Hasta luego.